everyone. Thank you for joining me in this episode of X-Raised, where knowledge meets inspiration in the intricate dance of industry evolution. My name is Miles, your host, and I'm here to bring you another business brilliance, leadership innovation with a healthy dose of wit. And today we have someone who's practically my co-host at this point, whom I enjoy having a conversation with that gets smarter and sleeker with his every appearance. Gracing your show is someone with over 40 years of experience in corporate sustainability, ISO certification, and shaping the future of business excellence. If there were an Olympic event for accelerating continuous improvement, our guest will be taking home the gold every single time. His company, ACI Global, isn't just another certification body, it's a powerhouse in education, sustainability, and equipping businesses and professionals with the tools to stay ahead in an ever evolving landscape. And today, we're diving into some of the latest game changers from ACI Global, including their freshly revamped website, their massive global expansion with ServCorp, and why ISO certification isn't just a badge, it's a business advantage. Top of the morning to you, Ian. Welcome back.
Yes, yes, top of the morning, pick of the orchard to you. And I think in the food bowl or fresh food bowl should be plums at the moment. They're absolutely beautiful, and grapes.
Thank you so
So
much for joining me, Ian. At this rate,
yes.
we might as well get you a dedicated chair with your name on it. Well,
You're so nice.
all right, let's kick things off with something every business understands the importance of a strong digital presence. As they say, a company's website is often the first handshake with potential clients and partners. And ACI Global recently went through a website overhaul. What motivated this transformation, Ian? And how does the new design enhance user engagement and accessibility?
Yeah, well, I think, and that's right. It's like when you go to a meeting and things like that. You always need to look your best, uh, feel your best, and
Uh-huh.
that last bit's the most important bit. Is you have to feel the best. So you've got to try not to go to a meeting if you're feeling down or you've had a bad night or something like that. You've got to pull yourself out of that train of thought and put yourself in the position of being the very, very best. And that's what we've tried to do with our website. And for weeks, that I had missed one of the most important things in reference to our website, and that's having that personalisation of the website itself. And I started to do this when the AI tools started to come through, and we were looking at freshening up our content. And that it was nothing that AI was able to do, but I felt at the time I had to put some sort of personal presence on the presentation of the information that I was putting out there. And that's where I introduced myself at the very start and said, join me in the discussion as we go through. And that's what you now have on all our pages is they join me in reading the information within the website, on the web pages and so forth. But the really exciting thing now is that we've joined with ServCorp, who have service offices all around the world.
Yeah.
And basically what they've agreed to do with us is to give us a presence all around the world. So when our office closes here in Sydney, it will automatically transfer to Perth, which is 2 to 3 hours behind us, right? When Perth closes, it will then go all the way across to the UK, travel to the UK for that day, and when UK closes, it then goes across to the United States, right? And that basically, so on the website, we say speak to a real person. And again, we've tried AI. We've tried the AI bot that gives you that artificial speaking and so forth. And someone said to me, oh, it's creepy. And not sure that's right, but it certainly was very unreal.
Yeah.
So we wanted our website to be set up, and it probably is, there will still be changes, right? But we want people to be able to come onto our website, have a look, and the first thing they see there is speak to a real person. So if they can't find what they want to find, if they have a question, all they have to do is pick up the phone, make the phone call,
Yeah.
and there will be someone there that can actually talk them through that process.
Real person.
It's that personal side on it, because when it's all said and done, a website can be a very remote, distant, lonely tool. In actual fact, it should mirror, and I want it to mirror myself, my own personality, my own way of giving back to industry, my own way of being inspired, and hence the little take from Julie Andrews' movie, Climb Every Mountain, Sound of Music. And when it's all said and done, that's what this is all about: training people's capability, climb to the next step of the mountain, or climb to the top of that mountain, then have the ability to have a look and see what the next challenge is. When you get to the top of that mountain, you'll have a look. Wow, there's another peak to climb. So then you take on the next level of your career, you climb to the next level, climb to the next level. And that's the challenge we want people to immediately see when they come to our website and say, wow, okay, so how can ACI Global help? And this is where we say, well, first of all, there's a whole list of courses, right? All those courses are built on continuous professional development, right? And then we say, well, okay, well, that's fine. Now, in support of the courses and the continuous professional development is what we offer as services. And then to supplement that, the resources we provide, because we have the ability, again, wanting to give back, we have the ability on our website to allow people to have a look at, for argument's sake, they might have a look at a bullying policy. Right? They can have a look at our bullying policy, which we have as part of our certification process. They can grab their mouse, copy the whole page, dump it into a Word document, change the headers and the imaging and so forth, and they have a bullying policy that they can use for their organisation. So that's the resources we offer, right?
Yes.
And also they can then go to our ACI Global Academy, where our e-Quip software is, where they log in and they do their learning and all the support pages and things there. That's what, again, we take them back and we want them on that inspirational journey. And not only myself, we're building up our facilitators and our mentors, and all these people that we bring on board are experienced. And a bit like I said to a certain gentleman this morning, he's a mature, aged git like me. I don't use the word old, right? Mature.
You really have to emphasize.
Yes, because I think when people say, "Oh, look, I'm old," and things like, it puts not just a downer, but it puts a level of discontinue. You're at the point where you're discontinuing, slowing down. I don't want that. That's certainly not what I'm about.
Yes.
Okay.
I know.
I'm about excellence, inspiration, and putting that across to people and challenging them to that journey of climb every mountain.
Well, that's a really great move, Ian, because honestly, if a website feels like a maze, most people will just, exit before they even find the treasure. It's always best to leave the best impression you could. And I mean, it won't hurt, especially if you're scaling globally like ACI Global. So it's a great thing to have a website, plus having the option to talk to a real person, which is rare these days, I must say, right?
Yes, and it puts that personal side of things onto it. And there will always be a situation, and I've been there, done that. I've had a look at a website, and I thought, goodness me, I don't want to fill out a contact form. I need to be able to speak to someone. So you click on the chat, what's the name, and you've got to physically ask to speak to a real person because it's running by AI. So then when you put through, immediately you put through to someone that is real and they speak to you, it's like a breath of fresh air.
Right.
Wow. Because you can actually then ask them that probing question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Right.
and yeah, so that's what we now proudly boast. So we've taken Surf Corp on as one of our alliance partners now
Mm-hmm.
throughout the world, and look, I think as we are, and I was saying it to someone this morning, we
Mm.
have
Yes.
reborn from my cancer journey to now.
Mm-hmm.
We're still recovering, right?
Mm-hmm.
But all the tools, all the resources, all the services, they've only just got better over the
Mm-hmm.
last 4 to 5 years.
Yeah.
And we want that now to be a truly global resource and a
Mm-hmm.
power tool, because the world is a troubled market and troubled area at the moment, and we want to be able to have the tools available to everyone to improve and run their businesses to make it even better for themselves. And again, as I spoke to someone this morning, they
Mm-hmm.
have to understand I'm a very family oriented person, and that's again what we want this to come over is family values. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what it's oh so important.
Mm-hmm. Now, since we mentioned about scaling earlier, ACI Global has recently teamed up with Servcorp to establish your presence in the UK and the USA, aside from your exposure in Australia. It's really an empire in the making, Ian. How has this global reach enhanced your ability to support businesses, and what opportunities does this expansion unlock for your clients?
Well, it opens up significant opportunities. And I was speaking to someone out of Canada this morning, and we fully expect them to come on board as one of our alliance partners. Now, one of the things that I clearly was able to demonstrate was we're not wanting to take them over and buy them out, and
Yeah.
then their name or their branding or their personality would disappear. We want them to come in as part of our family. And that will be the same in the UK. We'll be looking for people over in the UK that want to join the family and join the delivery of that message with all the tools, the services, and the resources. They're all there, so they take all that on board and they can then move that out. And again, if we just look at one of the tools, for argument's sake, which we're pushing at the moment, and that's the ISO skill assessment process, a skill assessor. And people ask me, how was that developed? And I say, well, the idea came from my late mum when she was in a nursing home, right? And it bothered me greatly. And she would speak to me about the pain, the distress, the discomfort, the inability for the nurses to understand my mother's needs and what she actually wanted and things like that. So that's where the ISO skill assessor has been born,
Yeah.
where we will take, and we won't put someone different into the organisation. We will take an existing leading nurse we need within each of the organisations, right? Train them up to become a skill assessor. So their role will be on top of their existing role, will
Mm-hmm.
be that they will move around and they will assess nurses as they work during the day, and that will demonstrate the skill, the capability, but the most important point, it will demonstrate their ability of meritocracy,
Mm-hmm.
merit.
Merit. Mm-hmm.
And when we talk about merit, you talk about merit as a person that doesn't demand, but needs to be recognised that they are capable of a higher remuneration or a higher pay packet, which
Mm-hmm.
recognises their capability.
Okay.
Right? And that's the most important thing that we want to try and get across is
Mm-hmm.
we've taken training, we've recognised competency, we've recognised capability, we've recognised the skill, but what the most important thing this ISO skill assessor has the ability to do is
Mm-hmm.
recognise that merit.
Yeah.
And that merit deserves to be compensated for by well paid for doing that job.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. And that's the key. And I say it before, this is where a lot of things where I get my passion and my drive. And
Yeah.
this is one of the things. Now, this this role, the ISO skill assessor, can be rolled out in any job. It can be in construction and
Yeah.
it can be in sales,
Mhm.
food safety, doesn't matter where it
Any
is.
industry.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Right. And Ian, you're growing with a purpose, not just for the sake of having more pins on the map. And when it comes to accelerating continuous improvement, you're really never slowing down. And so is ACI Global. Now, your organization is also recognized as an ISO certified educational organization and a founding member of the Global Reporting Initiative, or GRI, in Australasia. For those who hear ISO certification and immediately think it's just, a bureaucratic red tape, can you share what makes it such a powerful tool for both businesses and individuals in today's fast-paced global market?
Well, I liken that to the saying, is ISO just a badge?
Uh-huh.
And I think for quite a large number of people, large number of organisations, I think it is a badge. I think they use it as a badge where they can proudly put it on their doors or their logos and
Yeah.
so forth. Look at us, we're ISO certified and so forth. But
Mhm.
it's what is behind that process which really matters.
Yeah.
Because behind that process is an ability to allow someone, a third party, to come in and have a look at your business or have a look at you personally, what I put it, warts and all. So
Mhm.
you put everything out there for them to have a look. And what we do with the auditors that come in to audit us, we challenge them. When they walk in the door, we say, we would like you to demonstrate how we can do better.
Yeah.
Okay. We
Mm.
don't want you to come in and to look for fault, right? Because when it's all said and done, anyone can walk into a door of an organisation, or
Mm.
they can sit down with the person and discuss their performance, and
Yeah.
they can, if they want to, they can find fault.
Mm.
That's the easy thing to do. What
Yeah.
I want our auditors to do, walk into our organisation and say, Urko, you're doing really well here, but I really think you can do a lot better if you considered this or that, right? And I hear people say, oh, auditors can't do that. Yes, you can as an auditor, but you can't direct how
Mm.
that, what is called an opportunity for improvement, is applied. You can challenge your organisations in certain areas. You need to look at doing better,
Mhm.
okay?
Mhm.
And I often say to my organisations that I go out and audit, I say, look, there's the opportunity for improvement, which we've both discussed. Okay,
Mhm.
I'll leave that with you. We'll raise it in the report. I'll come back. And in some respects, I'll fully expect for you to come back and say, well, we actually didn't do it that way at all. Okay,
Uh-huh.
but what we did was this. And I will then say, okay, so is the outcome better?
Mhm.
And you have a look at the outcome, and it's clearly better. And in some respects, you can see the revenue, the additional revenue coming into the business, or you can
Mhm.
see a customer satisfaction metric which has
Mhm.
significantly improved,
Yes.
right? Or you can see a customer turnover rate which was quite high. Customer turnover is actually reduced significantly to the point where they're actually having to look at additional training measures within their own organisation
Mm.
to add their skills within their own organisation.
And that right there is the secret sauce, I guess. ISO isn't just a set of rules, it's a competitive edge of the organization. And it's really the process behind in getting ISO certified that makes all the difference.
Yes,
Mm.
and again, this is something we discussed this morning with the gentleman that I was speaking to,
Yeah.
and the word compliance was mentioned a number of times. People often forget that ISO standards are not a compliance document. They are a set of organic, non-regulatory requirements
Mm-hmm.
which an organisation takes upon themselves to implement to improve their business or
Mm-hmm.
improve their own processes to
Mm-hmm.
improve their own capability.
Yeah.
That's the critical point.
Mm.
You're looking for conformance to achieve compliance,
Yeah.
not the other way round.
Mm-hmm. Right. And talking about competitive edges, ACI Global also offers ISO personal certification, Ian, allowing professionals to validate their expertise and career readiness. In a world where credentials can be the difference between landing a job or being overlooked, how does this certification give individuals an advantage, and how does it align with what industries are demanding?
Industry is always, and every business is always looking for someone to be able to come into that business to be able to add value.
Uh-huh.
And often I will have people come through to me and say, okay, can you write me a resume?
Mm-hmm.
And I say, no, but what I will do, I'll ask you a couple of leading questions in reference to what you need to have in that resume. Oh, yes, please. And one of the first questions I'll say, okay, tell me who the organisation that you're going for. Okay, so they'll tell me, and I say, okay, have you done any research in reference to that organisation before you started to put your resume? Oh, I've had a quick look, and I said, well, you need to do an in-depth research of their organisation, if you can find it on the website. If not, you've got to ask questions, even drive there and watch people come and visit the organisation, right? Because the most important point you have to, as a person, you have to put yourself in a position where you can say at the interview, I can bring this to your organisation.
Mm-hmm.
If I can bring this to your organisation, I can take your organisation to an extra level of excellence
Mm-hmm.
and add value to your business.
Mm-hmm.
Because I always look at this point. If I'm going to bring someone into ACI Global, I want them to demonstrate to me what value they can add to ACI Global if I'm going to bring them on. If it's just a same old story, or so forth, I don't really want that, because my existing people or the organisation can do that anyway. So you've got to be able to walk in that door, sit down, eyeball the person that's asking you those questions, and have the courage to say, I can bring this and this and this to your organisation, and this is what I'd like to talk to you about. So you're actually challenging them to come back and say, and I haven't heard this yet, but get them to come back and say, oh, I'm not quite sure we're ready. I'm not quite sure we're ready for that level, but at least you can demonstrate to them, well, when you're ready, I'm there for you to be able to achieve that success.
Mm-hmm. Adding real value to the organization they're going for, aiming to achieve excellence together.
Yes,
It's like having a passport that gets you through the doors of opportunity.
yes, yes,
Mhm.
so true.
Yeah, now let's bring it all together, Ian. ACI Global has revamped its digital presence, expanded globally, and continues to offer innovative tools, especially like e-Quip. But at the end of the day, the biggest challenge isn't just offering these services, it's ensuring that businesses and professionals actually use them effectively. What measures have you implemented to make sure clients can easily access information and support, and how do you maintain this accessibility?
Well, that accessibility now is on our website, and we demonstrate that. Basically, we have a huge suite of courses where organisations can take. They can buy those courses themselves and revamp them and use them within their own organisations and things like that. We can offer facilitators and mentors to support that, or we can train within the organisation the facilitators and mentors to do all that training, right? Then obviously to support that is our suite of continual professional development programs and resources. That's all there. And then also our ISO services and resources. As I said before, we can take an organisation that may come to us and say, look, we're not certified. Can you help us in reference to the documentation? And we simply say, yes, you can just go to our manual, which is online. You can copy and paste a whole manual straight onto your own network, reword it to match what your business processes are, right? subject yourself to an internal audit, and then basically your organisation is ready for certification. It is as simple as that.
Yeah.
And look, I have had people come back to me and say, oh, you shouldn't be giving all this away. You should be charging, things like that. No, that's not what this is about. What this is about is encouraging inspiration, encouraging business to step to that next mountain. Have a look around, right? And you expect them to say, oh, before I take that next step, I've got to look at being audited and reviewed by a third party. That's the challenge. Yes, do that. Take that offer, have yourself audited, and then take that next climb. It might be 10, 15, 20, 100 steps through the process till you get to the next mountain.
Yeah.
But also, the most important thing people have to realise is when you get to the top of the mountain, there's always going to be another mountain to climb.
Right.
And again, and this is such a simple analogy, what I challenge people to do is get the movie, Julie Andrews, Sound of Music, play it. It is an inspiration for everyone. Climb every mountain. And even those 3 words. And like I said to you before our interview started, you know, I had a bit of a downer last week. And just inspirationally for me, Sound of Music was on again. And I think it's 20th time or something like that. And I watched it right through. And it just peps you up, and it pepped me up. Okay. And that's what life is all about. Again, Who Moved My Cheese, a little book, Who Moved My Cheese. You have to have the ability to change. And like I said, I got to the point where still didn't have that personal touch to the website, right? We'd partnered with Surf Corp as using a service office here in Sydney, and all of a sudden I tried, well, hang on a minute, these girls are brilliant, you know? They answer the phone beautifully, always have a smile on their face. And I said, well, what if we can get them over in the UK? What if we can get them in the United States? What about Canada? What about the Philippines? You know, and why not?
Why
can
not?
do that. Yes. We now are doing that. I'm so excited about it.
Yes, anything is really possible. And I love that analogy, Ian. Ain't no mountain high enough, indeed.
Exactly right.
And Ian, as always, you've given us another conversation full of useful knowledge about why continuous improvement isn't just a concept, it's a necessity. From a brand new website that makes learning more accessible to global expansion, that puts ACI Global on a whole new playing field, also to laying down the real value of ISO certification to organizations, it's clear that you and your team are not just keeping up with change, you're absolutely setting the pace. And as I would always say, it's a pleasure having you here at X-Rays. Next time, let's do this from maybe one of your new global offices, maybe in the UK, and I'll let you pick. Well, climbing the mountains with you. Thank you, Ian.
Thank you so much. And again, it's been a pleasure to be with you today again. And it's a pleasure, you know, and I know people come and watch the videos and look, take it as an inspiration, take it as climbing that next step, climbing your next mountain. We want to be there with you to do that, to inspire you, to take you to be a high achiever.
Yes, thank you so much. The pleasure is all mine. For those of you out there looking to level up your career, future-proof your business, or just want to understand why ISO certification is more than just a piece of paper, head over to aciglobal.com.au. And if you need a guide through this world of certification and professional development, connect with Ian on LinkedIn. Trust me, you would want him in your corner. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Hit that share button and share this episode and keep raising the bar. Catch us again next time. This has been your host, Miles. Stay focused and inspired with X-Rays.